Hi everyone, I am rocking around on my Movemate. So first I should say that I'm not getting any residuals from this. I just wanted to show a few different things that I like to do with my lovely Movemate. So this originally was created to help people who were in jobs that were having them sit a lot and kind of sedentary, get up, get moving. And as you can see, this is really different than like a wobble board that's flat. What attracted me to this, because I don't really have a job where I sit a lot, I'm a movement teacher and I'm a somatic movement educator. I'm also certified in Pilates and yoga. And I really fell in love with this because you can see, because of the pieces, the way this is engineered, it has a wave-like quality to it. And guess what? So do our bodies. Our bodies are actually very sporullic. And this really helps to find the push-off parts of the feet, the spiraling of the feet, and how that actually moves up into the body. So it's super healthy for our joints and our fascia. So I love putting people on this because, as you can see, I'm not going side to side. I'm really starting to move into these spiraling movements. So it actually allows my pelvis to rotate in the way that it's supposed to, whereas on a straight board, we're going side to side. Whereas that's great for balance, but our bodies really, really love this spiraling activity. And look, I'm starting to get rotation up through my rib cage, my head starts to turn, and we lose all of this when we sit at our desks all day. So you can really have a fun, playful little movement practice, even if it's for a couple minutes. Maybe you can't be doing all of this while you're working, but you can take a little break and add some rotational full body movement in. Now, as a movement teacher, I also saw other potential with this. So we're going to come down and I'm going to flip this over. And if you're a Pilates teacher, what does this remind you of? A barrel, like a baby barrel, an arc barrel. And what I love about this is that I have barrels that they're just too much for some of my clients. They just can't be in that big of an extension, and then I have to use all these props to prop them up. And this is fabulous. It's like a baby. Now, when I was lying down on this on the wood, it's not that comfortable. So all I did was take a towel, fold it in half, and you could get 2 towels if you wanted, and just put that right over. Now I also have another towel rolled up because that's going to go behind the neck or the head if we want it. So I'm going to sit right in the front, and I can go right up against the edge. I can also move further down. So you could start further down and focus on, the upper part of the back, and then you can slowly make your way. And every time you move, you're taking your spine into a little bit of a different relationship with gravity. So you can always play around with that. Now we have the towel, which can go underneath your neck, or I like it where my head meets my neck. Okay? Or you might decide you don't even want it and you just want this to extend back. Okay? So you could just hang out here. Think about how we sit, okay? So a lot of times we're slouching in chairs. It's really hard to sit up, right? And our arms come forward, we're on the computers, we're on our technology. Our chairs tend to pull us in these sort of tucked under positions. So not only is that our spine, as a somatic person, an embodied anatomy person, what about our organs? Our poor organs don't get to breathe. They get all squashed, especially our lungs. So look at this. This is like opening. And you can just, come down to the ground. Even if you do this for 2 or 3 minutes as a break during your day, it is going to be a game changer. And we could also add a whole repertoire of movement here. There's a whole little mini movement session here. We could start with our arms, and you could do some nice shoulder mobility, reaching the fingers up. You could move into scissors. So look at all of this really delicious movement we're getting. And if we are someone that's sitting all day, we're in very, the same positions for long periods of time, and you can take your hands over your head and circle them around, and our arms just tend to stay in the middle. So now we get to open our sides. Look at all the space you're making for your lungs. Talk about an energy boost as well. Now we could also do a little massage for our spine. So you get ready with your hands by your legs, you can nod your chin, and you could roll up. You can always move your legs away, rounding forwards. Am I gonna go out of the way? Maybe. And then rolling back, and you have that lovely little arc there of your Movemate. It's ready for you, and you could reach your arms over. And you're getting all of that nice, kind of compressing pressure on the tissues around your spine. And it creates like a sponging, and it's very hydrating. You're creating a lot of length in your spine, really nice for your discs. And let's do one more. We'll roll up, and then return. Now we can keep the towels on, and we can sit. You can sit in this little like mermaid position. And we can go into a side bend. So how are all the ways that we want to open up our body if we've been sitting? So we want to open up the sides here. Nice big reach. Open up your sides. Breathe through your ribs. They're like your gills there. And then you can reach with this hand, a little developmental patterning, little reach with your head, and then your hand can come up. We can go over to the other side. Let's do that again. We can add some rotating. You could spiral around. Look at all this yummy rotation and side bending. We lose this if we're sitting a lot. And reach and up, and we can do that to the other side. A little rotation. Yum. And then we could do that to the other side as well. Now we can also use this. We'll take the towel off, and we can flip it, and now we can use this for our hands. So if we turn it, just like our feet, we can put our hands on this Movemate and move the knees back, and then a little push back, little child's pose, and then push from your legs, come forwards, and you're in a little half plank. But what's happening underneath you is a little movement here, so you have to be able to respond to it, and then you can push back. And you can come forwards. You could even do a little up dog. Here's our yoga move. Little lift. That feels so good. And then push. And then coming up, you can tuck your toes underneath. And again, this is a challenge because it's got a little bit of movement. Your brain really wakes up. And then you push with those hands, little downward dog. And then shift your weight over, lower down, and we can do that again. So you want to push with your hands, reach with your tail. Those are all developmental patterns. Push with the legs, your head comes over, lower down. And let's do that one more time. So we're going to push. And then we can walk our feet up, and here's a challenge. We can step up on that Movemate. We can take a few of our lovely spiraling movements here. We could step off, bring the hands back down, step your feet back, lower your knees. You can untuck. So you can start to play with this, changing levels. So we're climbing up, So very enlivening if you've been sitting. And chairs keep us in one level, right? It's kind of like the middle level. So this is really fun. And we could even just step our feet up. We could even get even more creative. You know, it just depends on where your balance is, how secure you feel, but coming off and down. So those are just a few ideas. There's more tricks up my sleeve, but I wanted to share those. You know, if you have one of these and you can play a little bit more with them beyond just standing and moving. But I'm telling you, that is such nutritious movement for your body. And it's a big difference between just a flat board that goes side to side, which is great too, because it's creating that responsiveness. But this is adding a whole nother level to balance work. And it's, it's got more like multi-use than maybe you think. So I hope you enjoyed.